This week's question arises from a table discussion at Walking with Purpose, one of my favorite pastimes when I get the chance to visit with those folks. But the question was, um, what happens in purgatory? What's it like, and how long does it last? And I think we've talked about in previous videos that purgatory is that period of purification after death and prior to entering into heaven. And bottom line is, when we arrive at the moment of particular judgment, we are very likely to realize that we're not ready to enter into heaven. And we will actually beg Jesus for the opportunity to become ready to enter into heaven prior to entering in. And that's exactly what purgatory is. It's a time of preparation, a time of purification after death and before entering into heaven. So the natural question is, well, what is it like? Probably the clearest demonstration that I've seen in what purgatory is actually like comes from the diaries of St. Catherine of Siena. During her life, St. Catherine of Siena was given a private revelation of purgatory by Christ himself. And in her description of what she saw, it was that the suffering of purgatory is not less than the suffering of hell. It's just that it doesn't go on forever. So I've heard a lot of people say, well, I'm aiming for purgatory. Don't aim for purgatory. If you aim for purgatory, there is a great risk you will miss. So aim for heaven and be grateful for purgatory when the time comes. Another really good question is, well, how long does it last? And it's true, if you look at some of the old pre-council material of the church, you see things like, well, if you say this prayer or perform this devotion, you'll knock 300 days off of purgatory. And I think since the Vatican Council teaching on purgatory is not so much that it's a question of duration. So in other words, it's not like a prison sentence where you get 300 days of purgatory or 6,000 days of purgatory or whatever. It's more a question of intensity. So think about spilled some wine on your favorite tablecloth, and the question becomes, how hard do I have to scrub in order to get the stain to come out? So that's probably a better illustration. Again, that purgatory is not so much a question of how long does it take, but how intense is the experience of purification while it's happening. So all of these things being said, know that you were made for heaven, that you should be hoping and praying for heaven and striving for heaven in everything that you do today. And remember, God is who he says he is. You are who he says you are, and live the life that he made you to live.